This footage captures the gut-wrenching reaction of a French army officer in 1915 during World War I when he was shown the raised hat. A raised hat meant he was going to war on the battleground. His trembling hands revealed the depth of his fear.
Shalom. I'm going to start by saying all praise, honor, and glory goes to Yahweh, Ba'ashim Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashim Hakwadash, double honesty apostles, bishops, and elders, great millstone, and salutations to Akim, pushing this word, saying honesty and the whole full elect, constantly enduring. Shalom. My name is Kara Allah, and Lord was the edifying lesson. As you saw from the video, and you can read right here, this says he could sense his death coming. Now, this is a French soldier, and he's being presented a top hat, which in French they call that a kepi. And basically, when you receive it, it's a representation of you being selected to go to fight in the war, which the war at that time was the First World War. And you could see the look on his face and his aura changing, as it says he could sense death. He could sense his death, and that's exactly what it is. Okay, because you get sent off to the war to fight those wars. You have a low life expectation, so that's what it is, man. Okay. And that's how it is. Anytime you fight these wars, when Russia and the Ukraine war, they call it the meat grinder, because they keep sending bodies in, and basically you sending men to their death. Okay, so now you're on the brink of the Third World War, which really the Third World War already started. Okay. On what's going on in with Ukraine, what's going on with Israel, Iran, Palestine. These are all the beginning, as the scriptures say, but the end is not yet. All right, so these are all the beginnings, but ultimately there's gonna be a mass world war, and it is gonna end with by way of thermonuclear missiles. Okay, but you men are gonna suffer the same fate as this man did in that time. So when they have those drafts, okay, when they need those men, those bodies out there to fight, which they are constantly up in the age requirements, I'll bring a few scriptures and, Logos edifying lesson. This is Matthew 24:6. And ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. See that ye be not troubled, for all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet. And we're hearing of wars and rumors of wars. The situation with Russia and Ukraine, okay, which that's a proxy war because Russia is not really fighting Ukraine. They're really fighting NATO. Okay, Ukraine itself has been defeated, but NATO is sending in their own artillery and their own soldiers to use those artilleries. Okay, so really Russia is really fighting NATO. Okay, the situation with Israel and Hezbollah. Okay, Israel recently took out some of the top leaders of Hezbollah, and now they're striking Lebanon, Beirut. Okay, they're striking areas in Beirut to really make sure they demolish all of the Hezbollah leaders. Okay, so I guess you could call that a preemptive strike. Okay, if they chop off the head, then that really defeats the body. Okay, so that they don't have to worry about any more Hezbollah strikes, but they're not out. They're not out of the woods yet because they still have to deal with Iran. Okay, and once they deal with Iran, they're dealing with Russia and China and these BRICS nations. So it says, and ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. See that ye be not troubled. And right, we're not going to be troubled. You know, the elect is not going to be troubled. Okay. Why? Because we have faith in Yahweh Bar Shim Yahweh Shai, and we have faith that the Most High and the only begotten Son, okay, Yahweh Shai is gonna deliver us in these end times, in these times of Jacob's trouble. It says, for all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet. Right, all these things that we witnessing happen, it has to happen. Okay, the wars have to happen. The conscriptions have to happen. Okay, the drafts. Okay, so it says, for all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet. Because things are going to get way worse. You think it's bad now, just wait. For nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be famines. Okay, so nation, it says, let's start with, for nations shall rise against nations, and kingdoms against kingdoms. Right, World War III. Okay, World War III. Really, taking place, man. 100% World War III, to the point where they go into shooting those nuclear missiles. So it says, for nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be famines and pestilence and earthquakes in diverse places. Which when those missiles go off, they cause earthquakes. Okay. It says, and it shall be famines and pestilences. Are we not living in a time of pestilence? A time of sickness, a time of diseases? It says there shall be famines. Okay. Now, the port shut down, that created inflation. And of course, you had these simple ass people. People are so dependent on America. They don't know how to survive. Here it is, the port shut down, and everybody grabs paper towel, toilet tissue. What about food? What about people took water also, but what about food? Okay. What about the non-perishables? Okay. The main thing people got was toilet tissue. But that goes to show you these people are not prepared for the times to come. So it says, and there shall be famines and pestilence and earthquakes in diverse places. All these things are the beginning of sorrows. This is Jeremiah 49:20. Therefore hear the counsel of the Lord Yahweh, that he has taken against Edom. Edom is the true nationality of the so-called white man. Okay. Edom / Esau. Okay. Edom in the Hebrew is Adawam, which means red. Esau is Ishashua, which means wasted away is he, because the so-called white man has no pigmentation. All right. You see the blood through their skin. This is why when Isaac saw Jacob was the regular complexion, so he had nothing to say about Jacob. But then when he saw his son Esau, okay, he said, Ishashua, wasted away is he. Okay, so it says that he has taken against Edom, and his purpose that he has proposed against the inhabitants of Teman. Okay, now Teman is also speaking about the Edomites. All right, now Teman was known to be wise. Okay, just like today, the Germans, they're known for being wise, right? When it comes to, especially when it comes to inventing weapons. Okay, when it came down to those hydrogen bombs, right? Torpedoes, and other inventions also. Okay, so it says, against the inhabitants of Teman, surely the least of the flock shall draw them out, right? Because those Germans, they actually came from Germany, and they relocated in Israel, where they started calling themselves Israelis and Jews. Okay, so it says, surely the least of the flock shall draw them out. Surely he shall make their habitations desolate with them. And that's what we're seeing now with this guy Benjamin Netanyahu, and he's drawing out America, because America really told Israel not to fight. Try to work it out to stop bombing Hamas, right? And not to fight with Iran, but Israel basically had their mind made up on bombing these different nations, which ultimately is Yahweh Shimi Hawashai put the spirit on them to do these things. So it says, surely the least of the flock shall draw them out. Surely he shall make their habitations desolate with them, because they're gonna play a major role in bringing about that third world war. Especially now, they're trading missiles with Iran. Okay, so it's only a matter of time before Russia has to intervene, and it's only a matter of time before these other allies of Russia has to intervene. This is Revelations 11 and 12. The point is in 14. It says, and they heard a great voice from heaven saying unto them, come up hither. And they ascended up to heaven in a cloud, and their enemies beheld them. And that's talking about the elect of Israel. Okay, the elect of you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. Okay, the elect, start with the 144,000, the men out there in the highways and byways, sighing and crying. And then you also have the 1/3 consisting of the women. Okay, the sons and the daughters. Okay, the families, the friends, believers, okay, that endure unto the end, who also are going to be beamed up. And they heard a great voice from heaven saying unto them, come up hither. And they ascended up to heaven in a cloud, and their enemies beheld them. Right, our enemies are 2/3 of Israel, okay, the wicked of Israel, and these other nations, these heathen nations that want to keep us in a docile mind state, that want to keep us in captivity. They're gonna see us ascend, and they're gonna realize that we are the children of Israel. Okay, the Lord is dealing with the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, and they're gonna realize that they messed up big time. Right? It says, and they ascended up to heaven in a cloud, and their enemies beheld them. Meaning what? We were beamed up into those chariots. And why is that? It's going to tell you why right now. And the same hour was there a great earthquake, and the 10th part of the city fell. In that same hour was there a great earthquake. So we were beamed up into those chariots because there's going to be an earthquake. Okay, and what causes the earthquake? Those nuclear missiles being shot off from the ends of the earth. And the 10th part of the city fell, with the 10th part of the cities going into America. If you watch a FEMA map, America is broken up into 10 parts. All right, so the 10th part of the city, which is America, fell by way of those nuclear missiles. The main deliverance is going to happen in America. And it says, and the earthquakes were slain of men 7,000. Right? So that's a great number of men. So it says 7,000, but 7 means completion. And the remnant are frightened and gave glory to the Most High of heaven. Okay? Or to the power of heaven, which is who? Yahweh and his son Yahweh Shai. So it says, slain of men 7,000. And the remnant were frightened. The remnant, the ones that were left. The remnant of Israel. Okay? Because the majority of Israel, 2/3, is going to be destroyed along in that fire. Revelations 11:14, the point says the second woe is past, which is the second woe is going into World War I and World War II. The second woe is past, and behold, the third woe cometh quickly. All right, and the third woe is going to consist of the destruction, the nuclear missiles being shot off. Right, America being blown off the map. Okay, so the second war was past, and behold, the third one cometh quickly. So that's the times we're living in now. We live in the time of the third woes. Before I close up, let me just Google the deaths tolls in World War I and World War II. This is simply Google death toll World War I. It says the total number of deaths and casualties in World War I is estimated to be around 40 million, with 15 to 12 million deaths. This includes both military personnel and civilians. Death tolls of World War II. According to the most estimates, the death toll of World War II is around 70 to 85 million people, with the majority of casualties being civilians, primarily the Soviet Union and China. Okay, so if you notice, the death count raised significantly. Okay, so World War II is known as the deadliest, one of the deadliest conflicts, with 70 to 85 million people, with the majority casualties being civilians. Okay, so listen, you getting sent to the war, that's not even the worst part. The worst part is who's ever gonna get caught in that crossfire. Okay, so you saw the first woe, 15 to 22 million. The second woe, 70 to 85 million, right? And the third woe is going to be even greater. Isaiah 26 verse 20 says, "Come, my people, into thy chambers." And this is the same thing in Revelations 11, where we spoke about come up hither into the clouds. Okay, the chambers, the chariots. Okay. And shut thy doors about thee. Hide thyself, as it were, for a little moment, until the indignation be overpassed. Which the indignation is going into that destruction. Let's go into the word indignation real quick. Anger or annoyance provoked by what is perceived as unfair treatment, who was treated unfair? The nation of Israel, the apple of the Lord's eye. So the Lord's gonna bring judgment upon this place. All right. So he said to enter in the chambers. It says, hide thyself as it were for a little moment until the indignation be overpassed. Because whoever get caught in that blast, mainly here in America, you're gonna be destroyed. The only way you can get out of this blast is if you in one of those underground bunkers, or if you in one of those outer space spacecrafts that Esau created, the space shuttles or whatever, you know. But you have to be, but the elect is going to be beamed up by Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai in those chariots, which is so-called UFOs. Isaiah 26:21, for behold, the Most High cometh out of his place to punish the inhabitants of the earth for their iniquity. The earth also shall disclose her blood, and shall no more cover her slain. Meaning what? All the atrocities that America has done. He's got the murdering, all the murders that he's done, because this land was gotten by blood. All right, all of it is gonna be exposed, and Esau ultimately is gonna have to be punished for all his atrocities and wicked acts. The Lord wants to edify and lesson. I want to say all praise, honor, and glory goes to Yahweh, Bashim Yahweh Shai, Bashim Chakwadash. Double honor to the apostles, bishops, elders, great millstone. Salutations to Akim pushing this word, sincerity, honesty, and to the hopeful elect constantly enduring. Shalom.